Knock, knock. Who's there? The rods. We're out here in a field in Indiana. My buddy Bob is packing up, getting ready to start his day. He's departing from us. You're riding. What's your plan?
600 a day. 600
a day.
Yeah.
And you're headed straight for Havasu, as straight as you can go.
Straight as I can go. Try not to get to the 40 and
just stay on I-40 and cruise it.
Well, I'm trying to stay away from 40 a little bit, so whatever takes me that route towards 40.
Yeah.
Maybe get 40 around Oklahoma.
Get as much as you can get done behind you, and then get on 40.
Yeah.
You know, Model A's doing good, and basically, Bob rode with us from it. It was kind of nice having him along, because if I needed something on the road, he was right there to help.
Yeah, but I gotta hold the camera.
Yeah, whatever. So we are, me and Desiree are on our own now. So we've got, I think, 150 something miles to Decatur, Illinois. Go see my friend Hillbilly. They call him Hillbilly. His name's Kevin. But I gotta say thanks to Jason Newland for setting us up at this Airbnb with his mom. Very cool.
Super nice.
Yeah, just
great
beautiful.
People.
Surrounded by corn and beets, and just, I mean, just picturesque for us, you know, out in the desert. This is pretty awesome. So thank you again, Jason, and your whole family. They're good people. Definitely recommend getting one of these Airbnbs out here if you're ever in Indiana, basically around Mitchell. Anyway, we're going to get our day started, and we'll post on the road. Well, so we're here on the side of the road. I think we're gonna make a little point adjustment. It's kind of starting to run a little rough. It's kind of warm, so see that. We're gonna adjust it, and then we're stopping for lunch.
There's ice cream across the street.
Well, ice cream. So we'll get a screwdriver and adjust some points. I think they was open and they wasn't open. We need a little bit of moonshine. That's what we need, some moonshine. It's actually cooling down a little now. Get a little water.
Stand over here just in case.
These old cars, they don't have pressure on them.
Doing over there. So that's supposed to be our fuel. It's supposed to be clear, but now it looks all cloudy.
Okay, let's go find us some lunch and some fuel.
We're on our way.
Well, we've made it to Riley, Indiana, and we're hungry. We're gonna try to make it to Terre Haute. That's how you say it, Terre Haute.
Could be Terre Haute, I don't know.
Terre Haute, Terre Haute. We put a little water in back there and adjusted the points. We got some fuel, and it's just trucking. This whole car just wants to go. It wants to go to Arizona and basically live on the other side of the Mississippi. So we're gonna keep it going until she just don't want to go no more. Oh, I did have to tighten up the packing on the water pump. It started dripping a little, so I put a little quarter turn on that. It tightened right up, felt good. So we'll roll out of Riley here now. Well, made it to Terre Haute, Indiana. Terre Haute, Terre Haute. Yeah, tell me how you pronounce that. Anyway, we're getting some Chick-fil-A because that's Desiree's favorite. And I put a little bit of water in. Took a gallon of water, actually. So we are gonna eat our lunch and then head on up the road. We're pretty close to Decatur at this point. We're gonna cross the line, the state line, and we'll stop and film that. But otherwise, we'll catch you on the road.
I see you on YouTube.
We're driving this Arizona.
Thanks for watching.
So I pulled the camera out to film this tractor. Hopefully we get to see it. There's a rare tractor on this trailer up here. It's a full cab. Anyway, those guys recognized us, and he's like, "I know you from YouTube." It's pretty cool. In the middle of Indiana here, Terre Haute at the Steak and Shake. Whoever you were, hello. Well, where are we?
We're crossing over into Illinois from Indiana.
Land of Lincoln. So yeah, we've made it here to Land of Lincoln. The corn is as tall as the Model A. We could back out in that corn and hide.
Children of the corn.
Children of the corn. So yeah, won't be long. We'll be over at Kevin Hutton. We're coming. So I'm gonna take a couple pictures right here, maybe dump a little bit of water in, and we'll keep on trucking. So as we cross this state line, this is 2 states away from Ohio where we started, and yeah, she just gets further from home as we go. Well, I think we've officially entered the Great Plains.
Lots of corn.
Lots of corn. Pretty awesome. It's a cool drive through here. We got flat land now. Car's running cool. And we're just doing about 48 miles an hour, just cruising along. And it's happy as can be. So, the oil's hot.
You gonna taste it?
Doesn't smell like it's got gas in it. It's just thinned out. The oil is thinned out. So I think what I'm going to do is dump the rest of the Lucas stabilizer in it. Oh yeah. Country road here, boy. We are in the middle of country road nowhere. We're going to put a little water in here on the side of the road. I got a little Lucas oil going in, and I know. The old motor's starting to rattle the rods pretty good. Ooh, I hear thunder. It's looking like we got a little bit of weather up ahead of us, so we better get rolling. Get old Merle on up the road. Well, I think the weather's here. I think we found the rainstorm.
Yeah.
But I think tonight we're going to pull the oil pan off and pull some shims out, and tighten up the main bearings, see if we can get her to quiet down a little. I think the rods are okay. I just think the main bearings are loose, so definitely gotta tighten her up. I've got the timing all the way out of it to maintain motor RPM without knocking the crank real bad, so that's been helping. But I'm gonna have to get them tightened up so I can put some timing back in it, otherwise we'll never make it up the mountain. Well, Yoder's kitchen there. We are rolling into Arthur, is that right? Arthur? Arthur, Illinois. Look at the Amish furniture. We're in Amish land.
Maybe we'll have to get some cheese, I don't know.
Do the Amish make cheese?
We might have some cheese curds. I don't know.
We're about 20 minutes away from Decatur, Illinois. And we'll be going to visit Hillbilly and his crew. Gang. Knock knock. Who's there? The rods. Knock knock.
The rods
there?
are knocking.
The rods. I think we got a loose main bearing. Barely making the Hillbillies, and we'll fix it tonight, but probably should have pulled some shims out of it in Ohio. I had the pan off, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, it'll probably be alright. It ain't alright. Motor's too loose, so we're going to take it apart tonight, tighten it up, see how far we make it tomorrow. Stay tuned for our engine overhaul. Running no timing, 32 mile an hour. Trying to keep it from knocking and splattering the babbins out of it. But if I got to grind the caps, I'll grind the caps. I don't care. We'll shim it up. We'll figure out a way to tighten it up somehow.
We got about 10 more miles to make it. We're going to stop at O'Reilly's and get some parts.
Well, I don't know how we made it, but we made it to Decatur. So engine's rattling pretty good still. We're going to sneak up here and put a little fuel in, and then we're heading over to Hillbillies, and we'll get the oil pan off and show you what we find. See what happened to the old girl today. And hopefully we can just pull some shims out. We gotta clean Hillbilly's shop before we can use it. It looks like he's been busy. So we're gonna clean up this here dirt pile.
Merlin's getting some cardboard ready to probably roll around on.
Creeper.
So there's chunks in there?
I heard chunks come out when I pulled the drain plug, so that means the babbit's splattered. So we'll just have to see what we got going on. Get the oil pan off. See what's loose. See if we can tighten it up. I do have a center main cap. I brought one. I sent one with Jim just in case this happens. So it splattered the center main babbit on the bottom. And at least I have that to put in, but there's still 2 more ends. Usually it's the center main that goes, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So we're gonna drop this oil pan.
We're gonna attempt
And
to
see
drop
what we
the oil
find.
pan and see how bad whatever's loose. I don't think it's a rod because they all rattle the same. And it seems to be quiet when you're on Excel. It's on medium throttle or decel that it gets loud. So get her apart and see what's going on. Could be worse. We could be doing this on the side of the road with cars whizzing by. We at least made it to Kevin's house. Kevin's got access to some pretty good tools, so he knows some guys in the machine shop industry. So the fact that I brought that other main cap, if I have to weld it up or braze it and actually machine it to make it hold up, that's what we'll do. I'm not afraid to try it. So I knew this motor was hurt when I took off. A little rod rattle. It needed to be shimmed. I should have pulled a bunch of shims out of it and tightened it up, and I didn't. And now we're paying the price.
So what do you find in there, Merlin?
I got babbit. I got chunks of babbit. Big chunks of babbit. So the chunks coming out of the pan, they're just like the chunks that are in the pan, but when you got chunks that big, it's bad. However, that's just edge pieces off the rod, but every one of those has got chunks of babbit in it. That one's got more than its fair share. I'm sure there's more in the bottom of the pan too. I see more right there. So
we think it's a rod now?
I don't know. The number 1 rod is definitely missing babbit. So we'll
We're
look
gonna
at it
keep
first.
digging.
We'll look at it first. But honestly, I thought the mains were loose. Usually they're notorious for blowing the center main out.
Yeah.
Honestly, the center main looks good. I don't see any cracks in it.
Crank don't push up and down?
No, I couldn't move it, and when it was sitting there idling, I couldn't see it bouncing. All right, so let me show you what I got going. A bright light there. This babbit right here is all splattered out of this bearing. Well, I rotated the crank around, and because these old Model A's don't have counterweights, I pulled the piston down far enough I can see the wrist pin right here. So you can see the wrist pin up in there. I'm going to try to dig the clip out of it. And if I can get the clip out of it, we're going to pull the pin and get the rod right out the bottom. So.
This is a nice little car.
Yeah, it is a pretty nice little car. I think the motor got over revved once upon a time, and it was hurt when I took off. The very minute I drove it, I heard this knock.
Yeah.
And it's developed as we've gone.
Oh. It didn't hurt the crank any, did it?
No, the crank's perfect. Once it started doing it, I backed way down. I pulled all the timing out of it. Like I babied it. Yeah, it's not working.
I'll go get you a pair of angles.
Hey, have you ever seen anybody pull the rod out the bottom? I just did it on the Model A.
Merlin just pulled this rod out the bottom.
And we're gonna reinstall it. Like I did it legit. Ever hear that joke about the doctor?
Which one?
The proctologist?
Going from the behind or
No.
from the face?
No. He went to the Mechanics Institute to get a degree with all the mechanical guys. He graduated top of his class, and all the other mechanics, the hillbillies and Merlins, are like, why the hell did he get, you know, the degree? It took him forever to change it. And the guy goes, yeah, but he changed the spark plug through a tailpipe.
So we got it out?
We got it out. So here's what we got. There's our splattered rod. Well, I wouldn't really call this splattered. This was broke. This was a failure before. So this is still kind of rough here. This is kind of what it should look like. But Hillbilly and I, we're going to come up with something. We're going to tighten that up somehow. So either we're going to weld this up and put a couple shims back in it and fly cut through it with the mill, or we're going to find a rod and put a rod in it. So we'll find us a rod and get her back together, be rolling.
All right, so I'm in the shop. Merlin's here from Lake Havasu. He's got this Model A. We have problems. Anybody out there, we need a Model A rod. What'd you do with that rod, Merlin? Here's a rod. Okay, so the Babbitt's clear out of this rod. He's got it come out in parts, and they're trying to get back to Lake Havasu. He bought this out on the East Coast. Ohio. Okay, I didn't know how far east he went, but anyway, east enough. So we're trying to get this thing back running. He pulled the rod out the bottom of the motor, out of the engine. I've never seen nobody do that before. I need a rod. I need a Model A rod for a 1930 Ford 4-cylinder. Anybody around Decatur, Illinois that knows me, get a hold of me, text me, whatever. I need a rod. We got to get Merlin back on the road. This is broken. We got parts and pieces.
So this is a piece of the Babbitt that was left. This was all that was left in there, was that little piece. And when I got that apart, that dropped out. So it shattered it. It wasn't stuck very good. Honestly, I think this engine was probably over revved since it was built. Somebody was driving it and probably revved it up too high and it cracked this Babbitt. Or it just was kind of defective right from the get-go. But this Babbitt here looks really good. I think that's why we were able to put it under load and keep it from knocking, but as soon as we would let off, it would clatter. But it'll be nice because we can braze something up here or put an insert on. Kevin says he's got some John Deeres that use an insert, so we're thinking if they're close, we might just machine this out or grind it out a little bit and put an insert on one side and use Babbitt on the other. So we'll figure something out.
Best place on earth.
We're going to Harbor Freight. Hillbilly called it Hobo Freight. Harbor Freight to get a caliper. We're looking for a caliper to measure this crank diameter so we can maybe try to find the correct rod, or at least cut it the right size so that it fits correctly around the cranky shaft. Probably that right there, 22 bucks. Hillbilly needs that in his life. Oh, what the cutter? What was you going to show me?
Oh, it's
so we're gonna look at his machining capabilities.
well, we've
at
got
his
some more,
farm.
but I've got some of this stuff.
But we're gonna probably braze that rod up if we don't come up with one. So that's Havasu today. 118 degrees. What's the temperature here, Hillbilly?
It's 90 degrees with 100% humidity.
Yeah, but it ain't hot.
It ain't
That's
hot. That's hot.
So we're having steak and shake. To hell with it. We'll just sit here and laugh at all the people in Havasu that can't have steak and shake and that are burning up.
Milkshakes.
And then we're driving 40 miles to go get a connecting rod for a Model A because we got some work to do on the old Model A so we can get rolling tomorrow, because we're going to be in Independence, Missouri tomorrow night. Okay. So we just had
Steak and shake.
We just had steak and shake. And then I see this in the parking lot. And I'm like, Hillbilly, are we on Route 66? And he says, yes.
Yes, we are.
It runs through what street?
On El Dorado in Decatur.
So we're on Route 66. We're going to be leaving Route 66, but then we'll be back on Route 66, probably in Seligman, Arizona. So that's kind of interesting. Kind of cool, huh? Get your kicks on Route 66. Now we're getting our kicks because Hillbilly is showing us around Decatur. And we're going to get a connecting rod in, what's the name of that city?
Champaign.
Champaign. So I was contacted by Paul Shin, and he contacted the North Prairie president. I believe his name was John. And John has got some things set up, and we've got some phone numbers. We're going to a guy that's got some connecting rods. He's got a machine shop in his garage, and he's gonna machine us a rod, and we'll get it back in the motor. In fact, we're gonna have him machine an extra one, just in case another one decides to shell out on the way home. We'll stop and change it too. We made it here to John's place, and look what he's got going on here. Okay. It don't matter where you go. There are people that collect Model A's and Model T's and John Deere tractors.
That's right.
I'm here with two guys that collect John Deere tractors. Well, you got some cranks going on here too, John.
That's those are a very rare single-cylinder Caterpillar engine.
Wow.
The old cat pull behind graders.
Yeah.
Where you stood on the back and you operated the big wheels.
Yeah.
For a very short time, Cat made that gearbox that they put on the powered units, but they put on the pull behinds with a single-cylinder gas engine to operate that gearbox, and that's what those engines are for. And they got to be done pretty quick.
That's tapered lock flywheel for John Deere.
Easy there, John Deere fan. We're here for Model A parts.
I know.
Just because you made a new friend today. So yeah, we're gonna pick out a rod, and he's got a way to cut it. We'll probably pull some shims out and cut it down a little and do the best we can do to make it fit for our 20 under rod. There's the old rod, trashed out. John put 2 new rods together for me. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. What time is it, Hillbilly?
Dude, I don't know. It's like 10 o'clock. It's 10:14 right now.
You know what that means?
What?
Fireworks are over.
Fireworks are over.
So we still got a 40-minute drive back to Decatur. Put one of these rods in. The other one's going in my box for a spare because, hey, if you have a spare, you'll never freaking need it. All right, Hillbilly. I just installed a rod
from the bottom
the same way I took it out.
Yeah,
reverse procedure. First time ever that I've put a rod in without pulling the cylinder head. So there's our old trash rod. There's our good rod.
Spare.
So John over there made 2 rods for us. Here's the other one. I've got it in. I've checked the others. They all look good. The mains look good. I was thinking maybe we had splashed the bearing, but I don't think we did. I think everything's good. I think this bearing was fatigued from the time I left Ohio because it had a little bit of a knock to it. And I pulled the oil pan, but I missed it. I didn't see it. But I was pretty lucky to find 2 20,000 under rods because these are 20,000 under on the rod bearing. So we're going to glue the oil pan back on, put some oil in it, and we'll fire it up and test it, and I don't know, sometime in the morning we'll hit the road.
Get as much out as you can, huh?
Yep.
We're cleaning it.
Parts.
I'm gonna make my own coins out of that.
It's probably worth more than a penny.
Yeah. The Babbitt.
Yeah.
Lead and the zinc and the.
Yep.
Well, you said you were trying to get that out in Ohio and you couldn't get it.
No,
now we got it.
Hillbilly, I held the pan and he rascaled her out.
Got it.
It wasn't easy either. He pulled on it. He had a hold of it.
Getting the silicone on there.
Again, for the second time.
Yeah.
Second time in 2 days, man.
That was the Ohio silicone. In frame it from the crankshaft side. Hillbilly.
Yeah.
What do you got dripping down here, dude?
It's gas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's no, the carburetor's not happy. That's why I was asking, hey, is it shut off? The gas,
it's shut off.
the gas thing's leaking because it's clear full. Hillbilly,
Yeah.
turn the wheel to the right.
To the right.
Yeah, just turn it a little.
Just a little.
It's got the tie rod's in my way. It'll fold over.
They win.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. One more. One more. That's good.
That was a lot.
Yeah,
That wasn't a little.
that's hard over, Hillbilly.
Hard over.
Tell me you got a grease gun here.
Nope.
Okay, we're getting the oil in.
Okay, here we go. All the money right here. Is it gonna knock? Is it gonna run?
You got your fuel on?
Nah, but I'm gonna turn it on.
All right.
That could be some dry rod.
But it turns over and runs, so it's the right size, I guess. It's not 30 under. We got timing, we got all our things, so it's time to get a shower and go to bed and call her good. Get them ramps out of the way and roll her back in and done. See you tomorrow somewhere on the highway. Broke down.
No.
No jinxing.